Alrighty, y'all, we got a different style of video. We're going to be ranking For Honor trailers, hero trailers specifically. And the criteria for this is whenever you search it up on YouTube, for example, For Honor Vargarian hero trailer, the first thing that pops up, which is normally a cinematic. We're going to be basing off of that. Now, there are some of these trailers in here that are half cinematic and half used in-game, where the developers do cinematic shots in the game to show off the hero. We're going to be including some of those as well. And this is a top 10. Number 10 being one of the weakest, I feel, and number 1 being the absolute best trailer that they got out there. I'm no cinematographer, but these are just a ranking from a viewer to where it's like, oh, hey, this one's pretty fucking cool. The one that grabs my attention the most. So, with that being said, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. I love all the support on the recent tier list video. Don't forget to check out my Twitch, twitchtv.com/x1844. I'd love to be able to see some new faces. Anyways, let's get in with the number 10 spot. Alrighty, y'all. Now we're on to number 10, what I consider to be one of the weakest, and it's the Griffin trailer. And honestly, one of the biggest turnoffs about this trailer is the voice acting. The voice acting kind of feels a little forced. However, I get the lore implications behind it, and you also got to remember at the time, there was a lot of hate going on to this as he was considered the Lawbringer rework and a Lawbringer copy, which lore-wise, he is Lawbringer. However, the voice acting feels off, but don't get me wrong, there are some cool cinematic shots like the one you saw there with the Hero MVP, and it does show off Griffin pretty well, but at the time, the community just was not in a good state, and the trailer was very underwhelming. The voice acting, and it also comes down to the fact that people just wanted a Lawbringer rework, and then you release Griffin and he's holding cross and everybody's saying, oh, this should have been the Lawbringer rework. But overall, some really good cinematic shots, but the voice acting is what kind of turns me off from it. A lot of it just feels forced, but that's just my opinion on it. Let's move on to number 9. Now, for the Vargarian, there's honestly not much to say about this. It's certainly better than the Griffin one, mainly because it comes down to the cinematics, and it's got that more intimidating and badass feel to it. I do like how she's on the frozen lake, and you got the fog, and the army is behind her, how she's leading it and smacking her shield. I do like that. It's certainly better than the Griffin one, and the fact that this is fully cinematic does help out that trailer a lot, but it does have a lot holding it back, as there's just really not much there. But for the little bit that is there, it is a pretty solid trailer for what it is. Certainly better than Griffin, 100%. A lot cooler than that one. Let's move on to number 8. Alright, now we're on to my boy Zhan. You might be like, Ian, you're a Wulin fanboy, it should be higher up. Well, don't get me wrong, the Zhan trailer is pretty cool, but at the end of the day, it's just some dude standing in the middle of the room bonking a bunch of lanterns. It doesn't really showcase much for him. Don't get me wrong, the fire effects are really cool, the shadow and the positioning and all that, but it doesn't really show much. My biggest like for this, though, is the purple fire. And the you got the little fire and the ash falling down. And his signature line, I breathe fire. It's a good trailer, but it's a little bit underwhelming. I could have wanted more, but it is what it is for the time, and it's a different state in the game. It definitely didn't help that I was looking forward to him the most, and we kind of get this little simple trailer, but it's good. It's not bad. It's just there. It's a good trailer. Simple, but good. Let's move on to number 7. Alright, now we got the Warmonger reveal trailer. Now, don't get me wrong, the music in this one is really good, how it goes from happy to evil, happy to evil. The art style for the beginning is really, really good, and everybody was wanting a Polyon for a very long time. This is a very good trailer, and this is where we get into the list where a lot of these trailers from here on out are going to be very difficult to rank, and it's just going to come down to personal preference. Now, my biggest likes for this, as I said earlier, is the art style in the beginning. The voice acting is actually pretty good in this one, and the implications that the event is going to turn horribly wrong. Now, there are some pretty good cinematic shots in this one. There are some really good shots. However, a personal gripe for me is that a lot of it was done in-game, and that was also to hype up the event that was coming for this at the time. But it almost feels like there's a little bit too much in the game. It felt like they leaned towards that more. But the voice acting, spot on. The shots, spot on. Cinematography, all spot on. Only downside is just a majority of it being in the actual game itself. And it kind of feels like they went a little bit too much on one side for this one. Overall, it's still a really good trailer. Still a very fantastic trailer, and one that's really good, that teases the quote-unquote Apollyon hero. But now we're going to get into the part where these are very difficult to rank. Very, very difficult. Let's move on to number 6. Alright, now we're on to the George trailer. Yorm. A very good trailer. Really good cinematics. How the red lightning flashes and the hill changes to a bunch of bodies and weapons. Where she raises her fist and you see Warmonger, the world serpent, in the back. It is a very, extremely good trailer. My only gripe is that I am just not the biggest fan of Vikings. Overall, it is a very solid trailer. The cinematics are amazing. The voice acting, spot on. Every trailer from here on out is gonna be an absolute fucking banger. The biggest thing for me in this one is I'm just not a fan of Vikings. I'm really not. And you'll see later on in the list. Anyways, let's move into the top 5, where these are about to be some spicy trailers. Speaking of spicy and hot, we go into the desert with the Magi trailer. Now, an Egyptian hero was one of the most requested. Whether people say he's boring or not to play, that's out of the question. I mean, I get everybody has their own personal opinions about the hero, but this trailer is spot on. It's a very solid trailer. From the cinematography to the different shots, especially the scene where the Nefreka, I think that's how you pronounce his name, where Nefreka and Bolthorn are standing off. It feels like a western. It's got that apocalyptic feel. And when he eventually takes over and, I guess, unactivates the gauntlet, you see the whole world turn to normal. One of my favorite pieces about this trailer is how they choreograph the Magi and the Raider fighting. How they use the different executions, and it makes it seem like an actual fight. And just the way they stare off at each other like it's some bad blood. It's like, yo, bro, you took my shit. I'm about to wreck your shit. Really good. You got the desert, and the environment it was set in was really cool. I love this. Outside of the frogs, I did not like the raining frogs. I liked the desert and the sand everywhere. It was really dusty. And it goes back to that nitty and gritty feel of For Honor. And it showcases his stance switch very well. And it's overall a very solid trailer, and it shows off some of his armor, and you got him standing over Bolthorn like, yo, bro, I just wrecked your shit. Get wrecked. I'm gonna damn hit the juice on you, whatever the fuck that Fortnite dance is. But a very solid trailer. Showcases some really cool Egyptian armor, and you see his different sets, and it showcases him very well. A solid trailer. However, unfortunately, it's Magi. Not a lot of people like Magi. I'm one of the few that like him. But in terms of cinematography, shots, phenomenal. A really good trailer. Let's move on to number 4. Alright, y'all. We on to Black Prior. I mean, it's BP. This trailer is fire as fuck. From the shots, to his weapon, to his armor, how it implies in the lore that the BPs, they came out of hiding to fight. His home is being attacked in the harbor. The glistening from the sword with the light reflecting off his face. Everything about it is fucking fantastic. It makes him feel imposing. He is there to kick your ass and not ask any questions. He's there to kick your ass, protect his home, and get on about his day and deal some business. The voice acting, spot on. It's BP. This trailer was fire as fuck, and it definitely hyped him up very well. Alright, y'all, we into the damn Hitakiri trailer. This trailer, oh my god, this trailer is so fucking good. From the cinematics to the effects and how they make her feel supernatural and imposing. It's got that weird, it's like, don't worry, your soul is all mine, but be at peace. Like, and the way she's, oh my god. Like, they tapped into every single bit to make her as creepy, mystic, and imposing. Everything about this asthmatic fuck is intimidating. She is very intimidating, and the fact that she's expressionless with her mask and the voice acting, dude. Oh my god, don't get me started on that voice acting. A very solid trailer. This one is one of the few trailers that gives me goosebumps. Let's move on to number 2. Now, don't get me wrong, an Aztec Hero has been hyped for a long time, but my favorite part about this trailer, aside from the death whistle, is that the perspective of this trailer is of his victim. It's like you're discovering the Ocelotl in hiding. You are the last survivor, and you discover him. You're drawn to the whistle, and you see that in the trailer. Like, in the trailer, you as the viewer, quote-unquote, unalive. Y'all, you done. You dead. And I love it how you're essentially being called to the whistle. The music, and he just looks brutal in this shot here. Absolutely brutal. A lot of good passion. But now, we are moving on to the number 1 trailer. And if you are an old-time fan of For Honor, you know what's coming up. Alright, y'all. In the number 1 spot is the Marching Fire trailer. A trailer so fire, pun intended. I'm gonna let it speak for itself. I hope all y'all enjoyed. Don't forget to follow to become a SEAL, baby. And I'll see all y'all in the next one.
Fire is burning, casting a shadow. People are watching, waiting for the fall. Tell them something.